Hello, welcome to the Nitty Gritty of Real Estate podcast. Today, our topic is millennials, fear of missing out and how to remedy it. Hey, today I'm joined by Alicia from our team. She is our number 2 buyer's agent on the team. Alicia, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. We're going to discuss millennials' fear of missing out and how to remedy it. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for having me.
You are most welcome. So, right now, millennials feel like the real estate boat has just really kind of sailed past them, right? They're kind of standing on an island and they thought they were going to be able to get this really cool boat and interest rates changed.
Right.
And next thing they know, the boat is past the island and it's moving on down and they're concerned. So I want to talk with you about ways to remedy that fear, okay? And the first thing I'd like to talk to you about, because you're in the buyer side of this, is the down payment assistance that we have here in Arizona and how it could possibly help millennials and how they should look at down payment assistance. So let's get into that.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely the market's changed a lot, especially in the past couple of years. And it's definitely put some hesitation in a lot of buyers right now. And down payment assistance programs are helping a tremendous amount of buyers at this time. You're right, with the interest rates being so high. A big myth that buyers are following right now is that they have to put 20% down, and that is not true. When we think of 20%, that can scare a lot of people because if you're looking at a $300,000 house, 20% of that is $60,000.
Ouch.
Yeah. And I know a lot of us don't have that money on hand to put down for a house. So with down payment assistance programs, there are programs out there in every state. The best way to figure out what programs you have available is to connect with a lender. They'll be able to check your credit score and where you are financially to see what down payment assistance programs are going to work best for you.
Okay. When you say connect with a lender, what type of lender? Now, we have all kinds of lenders out there. We got mortgage lenders, we got mortgage bankers, we got banks, we got credit unions. Who should they be talking to?
I would suggest a mortgage lender because with banks, they don't have as many options available as your mortgage lenders will have.
Okay. Where does the money come from for down payment assistance?
They are grants.
Okay. From like the government, I'm assuming, or municipalities?
Yes, that's
correct.
correct.
So here in Tucson, Arizona, where we're from, the city of Tucson may get a bond issue or have some type of a grant that they give out. I'm assuming there are like limitations to that, right?
Right.
Okay.
And there's actually a new one here in Pima County. They opened up a new bond.
Okay.
It's similar to Lighthouse program, where they are giving a down payment assistance fund for buyers who are looking to buy.
Tell me a little bit about down payment assistance. Does it kind of run out? Because I can imagine with these high interest rates and good agents like you helping the buyers get some concessions from the sellers to help maybe with the closing costs. They could take some of that closing cost concessions, use it for closing costs, and then the money they have saved in the bank, they could use some of that for part of their down payment. But how does, what's the amount of money, I guess, that down payment assistance will go? Is it 5%, 10%, 20%?
It could vary. It depends on the program.
Okay.
And that's why connecting with the lender is super important because every state's going to be a little bit different in what they're able to give you. Okay,
so the mortgage lenders that you were talking about, they have better connections with like municipalities. Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, great. And what else do they need to know about down payment assistance?
There are qualifications for each program. So connecting with a lender, they're going to be able to tell you where you are financially and what program is going to work best for you.
Okay, so the qualification would be like interest rate, maybe how much money you make. Maybe sometimes you make too much money and you can't get this?
Yeah, sometimes there is income limits and as well as your credit score.
Okay, fantastic. So these are ways that millennials can kind of get past their fear of missing out, right? Now, down payment assistance obviously isn't only for millennials, I'm assuming. They could be, for older people like myself, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's talk about another thing that could help millennials, and that is the student loan forgiveness program by the state. Now, after we get done talking here, we'll give you a link down there where you can click on to find what exactly your state is giving as far as that loan forgiveness program. But let's talk about that a little bit here and how that works in the state of Arizona.
Yeah, so you're right. There are different programs in different states. In Arizona, there is one that can help with loan forgiveness. So something that holds people back is student debt. Especially if you're in the medical field. And in this particular program, it allows students who are locking in a job here in Arizona in the medical field, and it allows them to get some assistance in bringing down the student debt.
Okay. Now, is there a certain duration of time, I'm assuming? Like if you came here and you were a doctor or a nurse or somebody in the medical field, maybe somebody that reads x-rays or that anesthesiologist, do you have to stay in that job for a certain period of time?
Yes, there is some limitations on how long you have to be in the job for. We will provide the link below so that you can see exactly what those qualifications are and see if you can possibly get that student debt down and get you into a new home. Okay,
so they would probably vary by state, I would assume, right?
Yes, they would.
Okay. What about new construction?
New construction is booming right now.
Yes.
There are a lot of really good incentives for buyers. One thing that I will highly suggest is, the incentives are good, but make sure that if you're going to new construction sites, you have representation with you. Because you want to make sure that you are getting protected and you're getting the best deal possible.
Okay. So talk to me a little more about representation. Don't builders have people there?
They do. The agents that are at those sites are actually working on behalf of the builder and not for you in particular as a buyer. So they don't owe you any fiduciary duties. They just have to treat you with respect and courtesy.
Okay. So if I'm a younger person going and wanting to look at new construction because I don't have a lot of money in the bank for repairs or stuff like that, it's best that I connect with an agent?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right, great. So tell me, you said there are some incentive programs. Tell me now current, everything changes obviously, but currently tell me some of the incentive programs they have.
Yeah, so with the new construction, they do have their own lending programs.
Okay.
And if you use them, they have incentives where you can get a lower interest rate. Or they'll give you, X amount of money to buy down your interest rate.
Okay. Now, is that interest rate for the life of the loan or does it adjust after a period of time?
It could adjust. What I would say is check in with that specific builder to see exactly how their program works.
Okay.
That way you understand in the long term what that's going to look like for you.
Okay. So if you're a buyer and you're working with an agent, you'd have the agent check into that, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Hey, everyone. We want to interrupt this episode to let you know that we are a Keller Williams Southern Arizona franchise.
We are also realtors practicing equal housing. Now let's get you back to the podcast.
So new construction is a viable option for millennials right now.
Yes.
Interest rates are low. I've seen things here in Tucson 3.875 for the first year and then 5% for the next year.
Right.
I've seen as much as $40,000 worth of closing cost credits by the builders. And that's not on a very expensive home. That's on a $400,000 or less home. They're giving you $40,000 for closing cost credits, which can buy down the interest rate itself and or help pay for some of the costs that you have to acquire the home. All right. Okay. Let's talk about something that a lot of people want to forget, but it keeps raising its head now and then, COVID. Now, we went through some really tough times, COVID, in the real estate industry. And it's one of the reasons why millennials feel that boat is just sailing past them because property values just skyrocketed. In some areas, it was 25% year over year. And when you're on a $400,000 house and it goes up $100,000 in 1 year, it's like, wow, that makes a change for us, right?
It does.
And then you compound that with another maybe 10% the next year. So that's another 50,000 and then another 10% the next year is another $50,000 or $60,000. You're like $220,000 more than what it was just 3 years ago. Oh, and then we add on the 7% or 7.5% interest rates, right?
Right.
What do you think happened to people during that period of time who were buying real estate? Do you think they were happy because everybody was running to get a deal, waiving their home inspections, waiving their appraisals? What do you think happened to those types of buyers? And where do you think they are as far as being happy with what they bought?
I think a lot of buyers at that time felt pressured. And so they ended up getting into a home that might have not fit their needs at that time just because of all the competition. They just kind of settled for what they could get. And now they're regretting it because they're asking themselves, like, what if this? Or should I have done this?
Yeah. So I'll share something with you that I know. There was a survey done. 72% of the people that bought during COVID were unhappy with their purchase. And so what we're going to see now is we're going to start seeing people wanting to move. And they're not going to be happy with the fact that the new interest rates are going to be 7.5%. So in order to become a buyer of a property, they're going to need to sell the property they bought that they weren't happy with. We may see in the future some really well-priced properties out there and sellers willing to contribute to the buyers, the millennials, as we're talking about, towards their closing costs. So I don't think we need to discount the fact that there is going to be a large amount of people out there that are wanting to sell their house and willing to maybe help the buyers out to replace them so the sellers can go and buy the house that they really want.
Right. And something else that they can keep in mind as well is, from, the time of COVID to now, they've built up equity.
Yes.
Because everything just spiked up. So what they can do is use that equity, put it towards something that fits their needs now to help relieve some of that
and take
rate.
some of that equity and help the buyer, the millennial, to get into the house, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, there you have it, folks. We've gone over some topics here to help millennials get past that fear of missing out with the boat sailing past them, using things like down payment assistance, using maybe the student loan forgiveness program so your debt to income ratio is lower here in Arizona. New construction is offering a lot of incentives, a lot of perks to get into a new home. And if you're a millennial and you want to buy a house, there's nothing better than a brand new home where you don't have to worry about the air conditioning or the hot water heater or the roof leaking, right? You've got a good 10, 15 years before any of that stuff really starts to show its ugly head. And the fact that we're going to start seeing buyers, 70-some% of buyers during the COVID period are going to probably start to sell their properties, and with the equity they built up over a period of time, give some of that towards the buyer to help them move into the house. Hey, Alicia, I want to thank you for coming in here at the Nitty Gritty Podcast. Remember, again, if you have any idea about moving down to Arizona, click on our link below. We'd be glad to help you out and send you our relocation buyer's guide, and we're always here for you. Until next time, have a great day.
Thank you for listening and watching the Nitty Gritty of Real Estate podcast here with the Tom J. Krieger team of Keller Williams, Southern Arizona. If you are interested in buying a home, selling a home, or even investing in real estate, we have 5,000 agents across the country that we can connect you to. If you need any free resources, feel free to check out our website at www.thetjkteam.com. We hope you have a great day.